Other news now, a high-stakes vote tonight with Tesla shareholders just moments ago reinstating that controversial $56 billion pay package for CEO Elon Musk and moving the electric car makers incorporation to Texas. Tesla shares were up nearly 3% ahead of the expected news today. Plus, another point or so in after-hours trading. The pay package was initially approved, you may recall, back in 2018, before it was struck down by a judge earlier this year. The vote today is not the last word. This is all still going to be decided in the courts. Supporters of the compensation deal say Musk deserves it. He's integral to Tesla's future, and he needs to be adequately compensated. It also comes as he's facing a lawsuit from former employees of another one of his companies, SpaceX, alleging sexual harassment and retaliation. SpaceX did not immediately return a request for comment. NBC's Brian Chung joins us now. And Brian, this is just a huge compensation package. And what is it based on? Remind us of that, because this was, of course, before he made a promise that he would deliver. He delivered. The company exploded in growth, right?
Yeah, and it's based on stock. And by the way, that's why if you're looking at some news articles right now in response to this compensation package just getting approved by shareholders in the last few minutes, you're going to see different numbers floated, anywhere between $40 billion to $56 billion. And that's because this compensation is basically entirely in stock and stock options. So it really depends on what frame you're looking at for what the stock price was. And this is very much a volatile stock. Tesla stock year to date since January 1 is down about 26%. Ouch. Now, when it comes to the story about Musk's compensation plan, we have to remember that, yes, shareholders did vote to approve this $56 billion as estimated plan. But ultimately, it's really not up to the shareholders. It's up to the Delaware Chancery Court to approve legally this plan for that compensation plan to actually take place. Now, it is possible that they could strike it down, and it's not just because of the eye-popping number. It's really because of the structure. The court is taking a look at whether or not the procedures put in place and the way that this plan was put together based off of it, including, for example, its board structure, is legal. So that's very much a big question here. But at least the shareholders today voting at least appearingly overwhelmingly to support this package.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The board, the court believes, is a little too cozy with Elon Musk and gave him the sweetheart deal. Listen, we mentioned the lawsuit Musk is facing from former SpaceX workers. How much does what happens at one company affect the other, if at all?
Yeah, this suit coming from 8 SpaceX employees that allege that Elon Musk basically appropriated a culture of sexual harassment at SpaceX. They allege that in addition to actions that he himself had done to make employees feel uncomfortable, that he also, through his X platform, by posting on the regular lewd commentary, basically enabled a culture of other employees, males, basically perpetuating perpetuating that type of culture as well. Again, we'll see what the court decides on that, but it's just another distraction for one of the most polarizing people in the space, Tom.
Brian, thanks. And thanks for clarifying the payout for Musk is in stock options, not cash. That's important.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
What's up?
Hi, Jira. We brought you here today to let you know that
Fourth, our stockholders have approved the redomestication of Tesla from Delaware to Texas. Fifth and finally, our stockholders have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was approved by stockholders in 2018.
Hey guys, welcome to the Tesla shareholder meeting.
Fourth, our stockholders have approved the redomestication of Tesla from Delaware to Texas. Fifth and finally, our stockholders have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was approved by stockholders. Fourth, our stockholders have approved the redomestication of Tesla from Delaware to Texas. Fourth, our stockholders have approved the redomestication of Tesla from Delaware to Texas. Fifth and finally, our stockholders have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was approved by stockholders in 2018.
What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the news today?
guys. Welcome to the Tesla shareholder meeting. I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys. Yeah.
Let me play that again, yeah.
Our stockholders have approved the redomestication of Tesla from Delaware to Texas. Fifth and finally, our stockholders have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was approved by stockholders in 2018.
Hey guys. Welcome to the Tesla shareholder meeting. I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys. Yeah. We have the most awesome shareholder base. I mean, it's just incredible. Any public company, it's incredible. Wow. We've got a great sort of shareholder meeting here to recap the achievements of the company and tell you about where we're going. And
I'll pause right there, wait for it to load.
Will Elon Musk's 2018 pay package be approved for a second time? That's the $46 billion question at the upcoming Tesla shareholder meeting.
Tesla is now going to be going to shareholders, asking them to vote again on Elon Musk's multi-billion-dollar pay package.
The ratification of the pay package is really about fairness. We would not be voting in favor of that proposal.
After a judge shut down the initial pay deal, Tesla's board is hoping a second vote will help secure Musk's compensation and keep the CEO, who also owns X and runs SpaceX and XAI, focused on Tesla.
sometimes the work pain level is quite excruciating.
Here are the 4 ways the shareholder vote could go, and how the outcome could affect Tesla. 2 hurdles currently stand between Musk and the compensation package: shareholders and a Delaware judge. In January, the judge, Chancellor Kathleen McCormick, struck down the initial pay deal, calling the approval process deeply flawed. She said Musk held some of the most influential corporate positions, enjoyed thick ties with the directors tasked with negotiating on behalf of Tesla, and dominated the process that led to board approval of his compensation plan. Instead of waiting for McCormick to issue her final judgment and then appealing, Tesla's board decided to hold a second vote on the pay package.
It's just unprecedented. I have never heard of a situation where after a court concluded that there had been a breach of fiduciary duty and ordered some kind of remedy, there was an attempt to undo that with a new shareholder vote, but no substantive changes to the original conduct. It's just, it hasn't been done.
Legally, there are 4 ways the vote could play out. If shareholders decide against the package, court proceedings move forward as though the vote never happened. If they vote for the pay deal, Chancellor McCormick can accept that result.
She says, okay, you got me. That's it. I guess I'll give it all back and we're done. Musk is probably very happy he doesn't want to appeal, but the plaintiff appeals to the Delaware Supreme Court. The other extreme is that she looks at it and she says, this is ridiculous. You can't undo a trial finding this way. And then that all gets appealed to the Delaware Supreme Court. The third possibility is she says, I don't have enough information to be able to determine if this fixes it all. In which case, maybe there has to be document production, discovery. Maybe there has to be depositions. Maybe there has to be a whole new hearing.
Whatever the shareholders say and whatever Chancellor McCormick decides, the second vote could still play a role in any appeal.
Either way, it's color. And you have to wonder, especially when this gets to the Delaware Supreme Court, which it absolutely will, whether the Delaware Supreme Court, when it...
Well, those who just joined us, So Tesla shareholders gave CEO Elon Musk and his board a show of support by reapproving a $56 billion pay package for Musk. It was first promised in 2018, but rejected by a Delaware judge. The vote gives Tesla ammunition to challenge the Delaware's court ruling. Shareholders also backed a plan to reincorporate in Texas. This is a great tune behind him. Goodness me, that is good. I'm saying it's good to have people like this who are supporting you and helping you to go forward. If you look here on Barons.com, so Musk's Tesla Pay opens the door to bigger plans. Robots may be next. I think they're already here. And for other things to know today. So you gotta subscribe to read this article. No, fair enough. If you go to BBC News, as I said here, the deal was blocked earlier this year by a judge. The vote is a victory for the multi-billionaire who had campaigned fiercely for the payout, which is worth up to $56 billion. The exact amount depends on the Tesla share price. It says, "Hot damn, I love you guys," he told a crowd of enthusiastic shareholders who had gathered in Texas for the firm's annual meeting. The deal is worth more than 3,000 times what the top earning boss in the US made last year. However, the vote is not binding, and legal experts have said it is not clear if the court that blocked the deal will accept their vote and allow the company to restore the pay package. So I'm gonna, if you come to my page, I'm gonna create, let's see what I can say. Let me see what I can add to this. No, I wanted to add something. I was not giving me a chance. I'm already live. I wanted the option to create a poll. Okay, so I think it's been removed, hasn't it? It's not there. What if I get a poll and see whether you would like to do the poll, but it's not there. So what are your thoughts? Yeah, put it on the news there. So it's on there, wasn't it? Oh, it's not there, it's not showing. Yeah, so that is a deal going on over there. I was saying it will be interesting to see if another court is willing to credit a vote taken after the trial's court decision. But this is what I would ask in the poll. Is Elon Musk worth his $44 billion Tesla pay package? So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go on Twitter and say, congratulations to for the, I love that. Wait a minute, I need to one. I'll copy this. Put on Twitter. Let's see if he replies. So that is it on Twitter. I don't think there's anything else trending. So yeah, that's the story today. Let's finish the video, shall we?
Evaluates what happened in 2018, whether in the back of their minds is, well, there was a sneak vote, even if it's not technically relevant.
Back in 2018, Tesla was valued at around $53 billion, less than 1/10 of where it stands today, and Musk was struggling with production issues. At times, he was sleeping on the factory floor.
When this deal was proposed, the future of Tesla was really a big question mark.
We're not perfect, but we pour our heart and soul into the part, and we really care.
Tesla was struggling. It had posted its 7th consecutive quarter loss in the second quarter of 2018. And by August of that year, the company barely had enough cash on hand to function. The size of the pay package was unheard of, and Musk was going to have to earn it. His compensation was tied to Tesla's performance. In a recent video addressing shareholders, the board chair laid out the strategy.
If he failed, Elon was entitled to receive no salary, no cash bonuses, and no equity. The award worked.
Elon Musk wants to get paid. He argues that he had a deal. He had a deal in 2018 to meet incredibly ambitious targets for the company to get the market valuation to huge levels that didn't seem possible to a lot of outsiders, and he achieved those things.
The Tesla board is hoping shareholders will support Musk's pay package in Thursday's vote, but it's not a sure thing.
For some investors, this is a referendum on Elon Musk. There has been criticism that he has been distracted by Twitter, now known as X, been distracted with XAI, the startup that he created for artificial intelligence, that to some looks like a competitor to Tesla. A referendum on, is he engaged enough? Some feel that he's distracted and they're not getting the best of him.
On top of that, Musk has said he wants a greater stake in the company. Currently, he directly holds about 13%. In January, he posted on X, "I'm uncomfortable growing Tesla to be a leader in AI and robotics without having around 25% voting control. Enough to be influential, but not so much that I can't be overturned. Unless that is the case, I would prefer to build products outside of Tesla."
And that's a problem for some Tesla investors who have thought of the company as an AI company. That its future is not just making cars, but cars that can drive themselves and also humanoid robots. This big vision for the future has been taking that stock to record heights in the past years. So the big existential question is, what is Tesla going forward? And the idea that Elon Musk might not be there really rattles a lot of investors.
Musk has been retweeting supporters and sharing voting instructions on X. But with the legal battle still looming, the shareholder vote will likely be just one element, and not the deciding factor in Musk's future at Tesla.
The hope among Tesla's board is that if investors approve this pay package, it will remove this cloud hanging over the company. But the fact of the matter is, there will still be some uncertainty. There is still a court case going on. There are still legal questions that are plaguing the company regarding this pay package, and it is not decided.
So what are your thoughts? Is it worth the pay? Does it deserve it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it unethical? Is it too much? Is it unfair that he gets much money? Is it fair that he gets a lot of money? I think it's fair. So is Elon Musk worth his $44 billion Tesla pay package? I won't read through the whole article. You're going to see it yourself. I'll build my beautiful face right in the corner. Maybe not. No, just not this smaller. Alright, there. So you can read through the article. I'll highlight some points. Like businesses, SpaceX, Tesla, X, Starlink, Neuralink, and XAI. Tesla's growth, Musk's profile. So you can read through a lot here. Risky business and much more. So yeah.
Snap is used by thousands
Read
of
through
across the UK and Europe. Tesla shareholders have agreed to give CEO Elon Musk the biggest pay deal in corporate history. It would award Elon Musk around 300 million shares in Tesla, equivalent to 10% of the company. That is worth some $56 billion, hundreds of times more than any boss in America made last year. A judge in Delaware blocked the original payout in January, saying the decision to award it was deeply flawed. But rather than back down, Tesla's board put a similar deal to a shareholder vote at the firm's annual meeting on Thursday. They also agreed a plan to move the firm's legal base away from Delaware to Texas. Erin Delmore is in New York and was following the meeting. Welcome to the Tesla shareholder meeting. I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys.
This shareholder vote puts Elon Musk one step closer to becoming
Alright, my internet is not so quick today.
Erin Delmore is in New York and was following the meeting. Welcome to the Tesla shareholder meeting. I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys.
Love you guys.
This shareholder vote puts Elon Musk one step closer to becoming the most generously compensated chief executive in U.S. corporate history. The pay package would award Mr. Musk rights to a roughly 10% stake in Tesla, valued at around 300 times what the top-earning executive in the U.S. made last year. A judge blocked the original pay deal in January. It's unclear whether this fresh shareholder authorization will be accepted by the courts. The vote was seen as a test of Mr. Musk's leadership at the company. Those in favor said he deserved the 11-figure sum for taking the company to new heights as CEO. Those against voiced concerns that his attention is elsewhere. Tesla is one of 6 firms run or owned by the courts. The vote was seen as a test of Mr. Musk's leadership at the company. Those in favor said he deserved the 11-figure sum for taking the company to new heights as CEO. Those against voiced concerns that his attention is elsewhere. Tesla is one of 6 firms run or owned by Mr. Musk. And the vote comes amid a turbulent year for Tesla, whose shares are down nearly 30% this year as consumers battle high borrowing costs. The company faces supply chain strains and competition from China. Shares are down nearly 60% from Tesla's 2021 peak.
Let's speak to Dan Ive from Wedbush Securities in New York. Dan, despite Elon Musk's hot-down praise, it wasn't a unanimous vote, and there was the prospect that he could walk at one point.
I mean, that was the worry, but ultimately Tesla is Musk, Musk is Tesla. In the hearts and lungs of the Tesla story, investors spoke loudly, and this is a pop the champagne moment for Musk and Tesla shareholders in terms of now the next chapter.
Who were the people saying that it shouldn't happen? Who was on the other side of the argument?
I mean, look, that continues to be, in my opinion, just an illogical argument. I mean, you're talking about most followed man or human in the world. What he's done at Tesla is historical. So voting against it, talk about the most expensive package, took it from $100 billion to $1 trillion. And I think those that were voting against, now they go into those hibernation mode, into those barricades.
Prospects now for their autonomous cars to accelerate, their full self-driving cars, and the robot and the cyber truck. What's next for Tesla after this, with this boost?
Look, this is a big step, but I think ultimately autonomous, that's the golden vision. I mean, how you get to $1-2 trillion in market cap, it's autonomous. It's full self-driving. August 8th, they'll have a robo-taxi day, that'll be significant. But Musk is the pilot on the plane. And in my opinion, one of the most disruptive companies in the world. This was the voter confidence. And I think there were a lot of white knuckles going in after what a Cinderella ride for Tesla has definitely been a nightmare the last 9 months.
Dan, you're very bullish, and Tesla are on a roll. Even their split shares is allowing smaller investors to join in at the moment. But just give us the scenario where it's less of a bull run and more of a bear run. What happens to go wrong?
Okay. Under that, it's just the China market continues to be a massive headwind. Competition is increasing across the board. Full self-driving doesn't happen. In my opinion, it's a pound table mode. I think this is right now the beginning stages of just this next bull run. I view Tesla where I viewed Meta 18 months ago.
Right. Dan Ives, thank you very much.
Thanks.
This AI tool will take your idea.
Let's look at Yahoo and what Yahoo has to say on this beautiful deal. And also, while it loads.
We're getting closer to the results from that Tesla shareholder vote. Here to help us break down the latest and what.
Bear with me a second. It's not the best.
To expect. We're bringing in Nancy Tengler, CEO and CIO of Laffer Tengler Investments, and Lou Bassini, President and Chief Market Strategist at MDB Capital Holdings. Thanks to you both for being here. And just to be clear where both of you are situated, Nancy is a Tesla shareholder. She has voted yes. Lou, not a fan of Tesla shares, doesn't hold the stock, I believe. In fact, it was the subject of goodbye or goodbye.
I'm a fan of Nancy, though, so no
farewell here. Of course, no, it's not personal. Lou, you're here with us, so we'll get to you first. As you look at this whole drama unfolding, does it make you more convinced that you don't want to hold Tesla shares?
Yeah, I try to avoid drama in all aspects of my life. I think drama is the right word for this because, look, this is the first time in my life I will empathize or sympathize with Musk because he's having to renegotiate a pay package that was already approved. You shouldn't be tried for a crime twice. You shouldn't have to renegotiate a pay package twice. And at the end of the day, shareholders, it's in their best interest to vote for this because they have their principal at work and at risk. If Musk isn't incentivized, then their capital's at risk. So I think whether you think it's egregious or too generous of an offer doesn't matter. It's a pay-for-performance package. He has to deliver on the share price. What's happened in the past doesn't matter. It's what happens in the future from us. He's willing to put that on the line.
Well, actually, in this particular case, it's only about what happened in the past. He already hit most of the benchmarks.
Right.
He has to now hold, he can't exercise his options for another 5 years. But even if the stock went nowhere from today, as I understand it, hopefully I'm understanding it correctly, even if it didn't go anywhere today, he still would cash out big.
Ask
5 years from now.
Ask any CEO if they feel confident they can hold the stock price stable for 5 years. That's a feat in its own. Especially when you think about the market that they're in. You have declining sales, declining demand, declining margins. It's a Herculean task, to say the least, to be able to think you can do that for 5 years. Let's try it. Otherwise, it's nothing, nothing lost, nothing gained.
Nancy, I want to bring you here as well. You are a Tesla shareholder, Nancy. As I understand it, you voted for this pay package. How come, Nancy?
Well, I think for the reasons you've been discussing. I mean, Josh, he earned it. These were ludicrous targets at the time they were set, and he achieved them and surpassed them. So here's a guy who's made a lot of money for shareholders over the years. I think investors, I think it's interesting that the individual investors
За щото времето не чака. Вземи 1000 лева и върни точно толкова. Получи първия си кредит на Кредирект.
Give it time to load a bit. Maybe it took a bit. Nope. Alright, if there's not well, I wouldn't say anything negative.
For the reasons you've been discussing, I mean, Josh, he earned it. These were ludicrous targets at the time they were set, and he achieved them and surpassed them. So here's a guy who's made a lot of money for shareholders over the years. I think investors, I think it's interesting that the individual investors are the ones that kind of carried this over the line, and I think they understand that not only has he changed the value of the company, but he's changed society. So this is somebody who deserves to be taken seriously. We've heard concerns from some who say, well, it gives one shareholder too much control. Well, you tell me who has the voting control at Meta and Google in those two share classes. The only way you can express your opinion is to vote with your feet, which is what investors did when Mark Zuckerberg pivoted to the metaverse. So there's a lot of irony in this for me. And the last thing I'll say is, we don't really sit back and critique professional athletes' pay packages. Let's take LeBron James, who's earned almost $500 million in his career. Is that too much? Is it not enough?
Well, but we don't invest alongside LeBron James. We don't share in the profits from LeBron James. That's someone who you're investing in, and so you should have a say in what they make to the show. So, Nancy, what I want to ask you, though, as you look at this, even if you think he deserves it, he hits the targets, etc., what do you say about the critics who say the board is too close to him, they're rubber stamping what he does? I mean, there's a whole host of various other allegations about his behavior. There was just a journal article about SpaceX and some of his behavior with women on staff there. How do you reckon with all of that, even if you think that he hit the targets and he deserves money?
I don't think that comes into the equation, Julie. I'm sorry. I'm not approving of that behavior. I think we've got a long list of folks that could get in line in front and behind Elon on that. The issue is whether or not there was a contract, in my view. Did he deliver on his objectives? He did.
But was the contract entered in good faith if the board is so close to him that they couldn't sort of see it in a clear-headed fashion?
That's a different issue. I think that the courts should take that up with the board. But if we have courts now second-guessing, is the dividend payout too high? That the board said? Is the share buyback program too big? I think the deal was done. He delivered, and whether or not they were too close or not, they're certainly much less conflicted than they used to be. That may not be the right benchmark, but I think this is someone who has not only developed technologies that are really changing the world, but has delivered profitability. And for many years, no one cared about profitability at Tesla, and now he's actually delivering earnings growth. It's going to reaccelerate next year, free cash flow. So these other issues to me are kind of straw men, and I think you have to, as an investor, you have to take the financial aspects and the fundamentals of the company at heart. If I had to pass judgment on every CEO, I'd probably own 2 stocks.
Lou, I want to bring you back in here. One thing that interests me about this conversation, when we talk about Musk, is I can think of very few CEOs who are tied so closely to the company. How foundational is it? Because our buddy Dan Iso over Wedbush, Dan will always say, hey, Musk is Tesla, Tesla is Musk. Is that how you see it?
I totally agree with that. I mean, you used to think that Steve Jobs was Apple, but you had Tim Cook in the shadows that was really learning the business and could implement and execute.
I got Tim Cook is kind of Mount Rushmore American business.
Absolutely, but does Musk have that protege underneath him? I don't believe so. If he did, he wouldn't be 3-timing at 3 companies as the leader. So I think they're inextricably linked. I agree with Nancy here that we should get over the concentration of voting power ownership. That's symptomatic of every major tech company with Zuckerberg. But it's really the cure for all ills here is a higher stock price. You won't hear a lot of this noise and chatter.
In other words, the fact that it's got shown like this is part of the issue.
I think that's absolutely part of it.
Well, so Nancy, let's talk about that then. Are we going to get a higher stock price? I mean, the stock's popping today on this, but fundamentally, the business has some issues.
Yeah. Well, it's trading like an EV company, and EV demand is slowing, the margins are shrinking. We've seen this with every great product. I mean, go back to Coach, if you want to, with handbags. As soon as the margins became well known, they had a number of competitors. So the thing to me that's attractive about the company is the mega pack business, which is the electric utility grade battery packs. That's growing faster and is more profitable than the car business. Autonomous is also of interest. I live in Phoenix half a year, and I can't go a quarter of a mile without seeing a Waymo. I think this is going to be the wave of the future. And then all of the AI initiatives that will now stay under, if the court ratifies this, by the way, it still has to be ratified by the Delaware court, but that will stay under the Tesla umbrella. And I think that's where the future value of the firm is. So don't expect the stock to continue to appreciate like it is today. This is a 3 to 5 year time horizon holding, but I think the technology is there, and I agree with Lou. There are some succession issues. There have always been succession issues, and there have always been board issues. So I think that is stipulated, and I agree with all of you, but there's still money to be made in the stock.
Lou, I have a view here. Put aside the shareholder meeting. Let's just kind of pull on Nancy's argument. Just talk about the fundamentals. How do you see it near intermediate term?
I mean, I look big picture. Fundamentally, every new technology goes through the same adoption cycle. You get early adopters, the first 20% of market share, and then you got to cross that chasm into mainstream adoption. And what we're seeing, price points an issue, reliability is an issue. I just don't see Tesla leading that charge across the chasm. I think you see bigger competitors in the automotive space that have a proven track record of operating longevity with margins at scale that are going to take over and dominate the next wave of growth in the EV market. But that being said, never count out Elon. He's a bit irrational. He casts a vision, which I think is what Nancy's alluded to. There's AI, there's autonomous driving. There's a lot of things that could lead to future share price appreciation and business fundamental strength. But right now, I just don't see it.
Well, given picking up on that sort of sometimes irrational behavior, capriciousness, what have you, Nancy, how confident are you that even if the pay package gets approved, even if Delaware lets it stand, that he keeps the AI at Tesla, or could something else piss him off?
And he says, guess what? I'm going to pull something else away from Tesla. I didn't know we could say that on the air, Julie. I don't know either, but I just said it. There you go. Listen, I owned this stock many years ago before there were earnings on a relative price to sales ratio basis. It was trading at 180 bucks a share. I don't know what that is post-split. But this was when Elon was sleeping on the floor of the factory. He was smoking whatever with Charles Rogan on Charles Rogan's show and drinking whiskey at the same time. And I looked at this and I said, this is, and by the way, the turnover then was much greater and the board was even less independent. And so I sold my shares and I got a double and the stock went up sixfold. So I disagree with Lou rarely, but I will disagree on this. This company has the best margins, and he's been reducing the margins voluntarily to take share. Free cash flow is about to accelerate, earnings growth is about to accelerate, and he has the vision, and he will figure out how to converge all these technologies. I'm not, this isn't a personality contest for me. There are a lot of CEOs and companies that I own stock and I don't actually like the CEO or how they operate, but they're good at their business, and as an investor, that's my job for my clients.
Well, that's it. So what are your thoughts on that? That's enough for today. Don't want to go too over. But yeah, so Tesla shareholders have given the CEO Elon Musk and his board a show of support by reapproving $56 billion US billion pay package. Just for the CEO, like, hey, you deserve it. So I would like to know your thoughts. As I said, some are saying it's too much control, they're too close. Some are saying, as usual, it's not fair. He's running the company, he's doing the work, delivering the work, but as always, I'm saying, oh, you know, there's always something to talk about. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. That is it for me this lovely Friday. Hope you have a good week. So check it out. So the question is he worth his 44 billion Tesla pay package? I want to put it as a poll